We also are now joined by Pramit Brahmbhatt. He is CEO Alpari Financials and he joins us in Ahmedabad. Pramit, hi, welcome. How would you read into the Indian rupee? I mean, 2% of gains in last two sessions and 1% of decline coming in today. Rupee pretty much seems to be getting into that high volatile zone now.
That's right. The rupee gained on the back of better results from Europe and expected FDI resolution from India, where Parliament is going to vote for that this week. Today's correction was expected as we have seen the rally of 2%, and the oil importers' demand has brought rupee back to 54.80 kind of range. But it seems that the rupee is going to have volatile month of December on the back of domestic decision making by government, as well as it is going to be volatile global market.
So Pramit, what's your sense then going forward into the rupee? What range would you see before we end this calendar year?
The broad range for the month, we can expect rupee to be somewhere from 54.20 to 56.20, considering the lot of events taking place during the month of December in India as well as globally, especially the US budget deficit and the expected decisions by US government is going to be a key decision for global currencies, and rupee won't be separate from that.
Pramit, Indian rupee in the recent days seems to be taking more cues from the Indian markets. We've seen good capital inflows, GDP was in line with market expectations, and it's the reforms, as you mentioned, were more important. Do you think what's happening in the international markets could also be equally important this time around?
I think we need to wait till the event in Indian market finishes. Once the voting is taken place in Parliament, I think the rally on the back of the domestic market will end, because there is a high hope that there will be a huge FDI fund flow will come if the retail bill will be passed in the Parliament. So once that is over, I think the rupee is going to take the cues from the international market, and I think this week is crucial for the domestic factor, and going ahead rest of the month it will belongs to the international markets.
Sure. Vijay, what's your sense now on technical charts? The way rupee has been moving a percentage point straight for last 3 sessions, how is it looking for trade tomorrow?
Manisha, I'm still of the view that the buy dollar sell rupee trade is in place, and what you are seeing is basically a technical correction of strength in the rupee. Today is a correction of that correction. So at best, in the futures segment, I would give 53.60 to the rupee, and that's an extreme case scenario. On the flip side, if the rupee was to basically slide below the 55.5 level, the dollar will start to accumulate strength at a much more rapid clip than it is doing now. So irrespective of what's happening to the equity markets, of course the equity market outlook does impact the rupee, there's no denying that fact. But should the dollar rally past the 55.5 level, there could actually be a disconnect between what the equity outlook is and what the Forex outlook is.
Sure. And as we were talking, much of the cues are coming in from the international markets as well. Pramit, you did mention about the US fiscal, or rather the US budget talks that are happening. Do you think there could be strong cues coming in from that one? And what are you reading in many of those international talks?
If you see, the US fiscal cliff is the talk of the town right now. After Europe is being quiet since the announcement made by the finance ministers, the whole world is looking at the US cliff, and it's expected that market is going to be disappointed, as everyone was expected that Romney is going to be more aggressive in cutting down the fiscal deficit than the Obama, and Obama is more of a socialist mindset. He's going to take it easy rather than cutting down the deficit very fast, and he's going to focus more on the social values. So that is going to increase the initial level, the deficit as well, because he's going to support the lower middle class and the middle class. So market is not going to be happy with those decisions, and eventually dollar will get stronger because the market won't like it. The stock market can have a huge correction, but dollar as a safe currency will strengthen.
Sure. Vijay, how is it looking on the technical charts as well? Where do you see the dollar index moving now?
Manisha, volatility will actually step up as you head towards the negotiations. I would look at 79.40, as the near-term support. Unless that is violated, I think the dollar index might just rally from there. On the flip side, the upthrust is likely to meet resistance at 80.65 to maybe 80.70.
All right, so some weakness is in store with the dollar index, but of course the major cues are still awaited. Vijay, Pramit, thank you so much for joining us, and that's all the time we have on Hot Commodities for you. Thank you so much.